What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. Today's video, we are cooking in the Great League with Starmie, my new favorite Pokemon in the Great League. And the team, you guys have seen it before if you've been watching the channel for a little bit. Beginning of the season, we tried this team, figured I'd give it another run, see if it was still worth its weight. And my goodness, Starmie is incredible. This thing can close out games so well if you give it a shield advantage. And this team is built with a Dunsparce lead. And in the back, as a safe switch, we're going to use Malamar in order to try to draw out the opponent's dark types, perhaps their Mandibuzz, Galarian Moltres, and even their fairies, because those are always a pain to deal with. But Jumpluff is another one that we could draw out with the Malamar because they have that fairy win. But let's get into these games here. We did have a very solid run over some sets that I played while I was on vacation. So we're going to get into the first game here with a pretty neutral lead in Licky. Not something that I really want to stay in too long to do, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for a drill run on 5, try to lock them on an Earthquake if they're running it. And then at some point after they throw some energy, I'm going to dip into my Malamar because Malamar has superpower. It's going to really make them want to switch out. And they do have the Earthquake, so I'm glad that they were throwing that energy. If they had thrown a Body Slam, it would have been a little bit more apt to stay in just for one more drill run, because if they have a lot of energy, I don't want them to hit me with 2 Earthquakes, for example. The opponent here staying in with the Licky, and so right before they finish their third rollout, I'm going to throw that foul play to force a shield or get rid of the Licky. And apparently at some point they switched to a Poliwrath, so this makes all kinds of sense. I try to get up to 2 superpowers to throw back to back, but I don't think I was going to be able to make this one. But honestly, that's okay, because Starmie is a water type. It does resist all of the moves from the Poliwrath, and we can come in with it. But I'm going to shield anyway, just in case they have something like Dynamic Punch or Scald. But of course, as all Poliwraths do, they Icy Wind, but that's not going to stop my Starmie from getting a full farm down here. And the opponent has a low Licky in the back and a Drifblim. So Dunsparce looks really strong to close out this game. I'm going to go for the super effective Power Gem. That's going to do a ton of damage. And then I'm going to go for one more Psy Wave before I swap out to get a little bit of more energy to possibly have to use later on, get rid of that Drifblim. So opponent is going to go for a move here. I'm just going to let this go. If they throw Earthquake and knock me out, I can fully farm down. Otherwise, I'm going to go for a farm down here on my... I was thinking about it, but I'm like, you know what? We're featuring Starmie. So we're going to go ahead and let Starmie get the farm down here. Starmie just needs to go for a Surf to knock out this Drifblim, which has pretty much no energy. And Starmie is cooking in the first game. Little shining star that could. Getting into the new year here. Good game to the opponent. New Year's is in what, like 2 days? Yeah. Well, from the time of this release anyway. Diggersby in the next game, not a great typing here to deal with, because ground types do resist the rollout damage, which does kind of suck for us. But opponent's going to get saucy here and stay in. Throw Scorching Sands to try and fish for that attack debuff before probably dipping out. Now they're going to come into a Talonflame. I can get about 2 foul plays off, but I mistime my moves, and I give them an entire free Incinerate. And unfortunately... that's going to matter, as I'm always one to harp on other trainers about move timing. Shame on me. One-turn moves can be really finicky, because I can't really count all of their... I can't count all those Psy Waves, man. So I end up actually going off of the opponent's animations. And had I not given them a free Incinerate, they would not have had 2 moves. They would have only had the 1, and I would have had a better chance to win this game. But the opponent actually swaps out, preventing me from getting any energy here. And I'm gonna shield up what could be a fire or Scorching Sands. I was expecting a Fire Punch, honestly, because people love to bait me whenever they play me. I don't know why, but. Gonna go for the Surf here. Surf's gonna do super effective damage and a lot of it to the opponent, but they are gonna go for a charge move, and I probably should have just clicked Surf, to be honest, but you're going to see why this all matters in just a moment here. I'm going to try and get some more energy, and then I'm going to throw. Opponent not able to get to that move. I'm throwing just before they get to any move, because I don't want to take any more unnecessary damage. Had I saved that shield, though, and gone for the Surf immediately, you could see why we would have probably won this game, especially if we didn't have to completely dispose of our Dunsparce. I'm kind of hoping that Power Gem is enough to 2-shot here, but it's not. Toxapex is just too bulky, unfortunately. Even with those Psy Waves, the opponent has the Brine, and they're going to throw it. And that's going to be a good game. Well played to them. I misplayed this quite badly. I was shaking off some of that rust after not having played for a week and a half. But definitely, like, I would say that I don't know if I win that game if I don't give them free Incinerate, but I definitely would have been a lot closer to doing so had I not done it. So, opponent's going to safe swap into the Bibarel. Angry Beaver here. Saucy Beaver, as you will, if you've If you know, you know. Opponent does not have the Shadow, though. So I'm going to go in with my Starmie here as it forces them to throw the more expensive Hyper Fang, and I figure I'm just going to go ahead and shield one, let the other one go, and get this farm down here so I can throw Power Gems at the Jumpluff when it comes back in. Going to let this move go. It's probably going to be the Hyper Fang. I just can't take 2 moves, obviously. I was hoping it wasn't going to be, but it was, and my goodness, Hyper Fang does a lot of damage. I've seen Return on the Bibarels as well. I'm very jealous I don't have one with Return. Let me know in the comments if you guys have one with Return or not, but that Power Gem is going to do a ton of damage, and I can get to a Surf for a little bit more damage here before the Starmie is going to go down, and Dunsparce can roll out, farm this down, or we have Malamar and Dunsparce to take care of whatever's in the back. Opponent throwing on alignment, giving me a free rollout here, and I know I can live an Energy Ball from this range. Opponent comes in with the Primeape. I'm going to go for the Drill Run for some chip. Malamar can simply farm down with 1 shield from that point. Or if the opponent decided to shield this Drill Run here, I could have just shielded if I needed to and gone for a superpower. Either way, we're going to be getting victory here as Starmie doing as much work as it possibly can to win that mid game. Good game to the opponent. Getting into the next game, Dunsparce on the lead versus an Alolan Sandslash. If this thing has Shadow Claw, we're cooking, and it doesn't, so we're actually not cooking. We're going to go for the Drill Run, but the opponent decides to throw a move as soon as they get to one on 6, which is going to be a Drill Run most likely, but they actually go for an Ice Punch here, which is interesting to me. Then they're going to swap into a Gastrodon, and I don't really have a direct response to this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my Malamar. The Psy Waves add up very, very quickly. And we can go for the foul play here on it's either on CMP or right before they get to a move. Foul play here would almost take this thing out, and I could take an Earth Power from here if I needed to. And if I can just get to a Superpower to threaten a shield against the opponent's Sandslash here, we're actually in a really good spot. Opponent's going to actually come with an Azumarill, though, so this does show me their entire team, which is beneficial to me in a way that now that I've seen all 3 of their Pokemon before they've seen mine, it means that I can make a plan here in order to try and win this game. So I'm going to go for that 1 Psy Wave again, and then go into my Dunsparce to absorb this Play Rough, and the opponent's going to come now into the Sandslash. They're going to come in with their Sandslash. My goodness. Y'all can tell I haven't done these. I pre-recorded my everything like over a week ago. It's been a week since I've done one of these shoutcasts, man. But Starmie with 2 shields. We're going to watch it cook here. The opponent can throw I figured they're going to try to bait me with an Ice Punch, so I'm going to let one go. But the opponent now is going to go for another move, and regardless of if it's an Ice Punch or not, I'm going to shield this one because I can't just let these moves go at this point because Starmie is frail. It does not have a lot of bulk to it, so even those resisted moves are going to hurt. Now, opponent's going to come back in with the Azumarill, and the thing that I love about Starmie is that it destroys Azumarill. Absolutely. Because of Azumarill's poor pacing to moves, it's not going to be able to get to its moves quick enough, and it's going to get taken out. The opponent trying to call bait. Good game. Wrapping up that game was beautiful. Starmie is just so fun. It really is. It's like, it's not even that it's meta. It's just fun, and it beats a lot of the things that are meta, which is really cool. Opponent's going to go for 6. They got a Greninja lead here. My Dunsparce does okay in this matchup. The opponent having that Greninja means that they have to shield at least one of these Drill Runs where I can let a move go. Problem is, though, Greninja kind of destroys my backline, so I really have to be careful how I'm going to play this out. I am going to try to get shield advantage here and see if there's any way that they'll let one of these moves go. They do, so I can actually try to commit to a farm down here, or come in with my Malamar and try to Psy Wave down, potentially, but I'm going to shield one move and then catch the next move on my Malamar. I figured they're just going to go for back-to-back Night Slashes here, so I'll just take a Night Slash, and now basically the entire thing is gone. However, the opponent comes in with an Ariados, and I got nothing, man. This thing, it gets to a move before I can. I'm going to let the lunge go. That was not worth a shield to me. I'm hoping that maybe in the back they're weak to Starmie because they were so strong to it in the lead. Now, because they were 5 away from a move, I can go for 3 rollouts. That's going to be turn 9 where I'm going to get to this move, whereas on turn 10 where they would get to theirs. They decide it's also not worth a shield. We're going to get to see what's in the back, and I think no matter what, I think I'm just going to come in with my Starmie at this point and just try to make a move. Now, my opponent's running a double poison backline, so we were correct. They were running a dark double poison, or basically dark lead with double weak to Starmie in the back. So we are cooking in this game now. Sludge Bomb is going to come out, and I'm just basically waiting for the opponent to make a swap to try and catch a move here. Very carefully trying not to let them do so. If they go for a catch, that could be bad. But the opponent, I don't know why they didn't bother shielding that. But good game? I don't know. It's very possible that they were just trusting in the bulk of Clodsire and hoping that wouldn't knock them out, but not here. No, sir. Anyway, we see the wall face in the next game, and we're going to take every opportunity we have to slap it around. Opponent safe switches into an Annihilate, and that's fine, because we do super effective Psywave damage. It adds up so very quickly. We can survive one Rage Fist and the counters thereafter, even if the opponent decides that they want to shield this foul play, and if they decide, however, to let it go, well, you know what? That's fine. Actually, I lied. Apparently I can't live the Rage Fist and the counters thereafter, even though I thought I could. So losing switch here is pretty dangerous for me, especially because when you consider what could be in the back, could be a Wigglytuff, could be a Medicham, could be Victory Bell, very common things put with Bastiodon, especially when they come back in with the Bastiodon. That worries me a little bit, thinking that they might have some strong answer in the back to my Dunsparce. So gonna have to just feel my way through this one and just see what happens, but we are gonna go for a couple of surfs here, and then I'm gonna look to dip out to try and absorb the energy from this Bastiodon on my Dunsparce, and hopefully they threw, but they decided not to. They went right into Wigglytuff, and now it's gonna come down to, can we outpace two moves and outdamage this Wigglytuff's Charms? Charms do rip through pretty much everything on this team after a while. Dunsparce is the bulkiest thing on the team by quite a margin here, but we can get them pretty low with the Drill Run here. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then what I'm gonna try to do is get the Psywave down if I can. Starmie lands a Surf on the Bastiodon. It's over. I'm saving the shield because I know that Bastiodon has a move. We get the farm down. The opponent comes in with the Bastiodon, needs to get the farm down or two moves, and they can't get to either one. Starmie rocking out with a Surf here, taking out Wall Phase, as we love to do. Good game to the opponent. Next game up, we got Dunsparce versus a Jumpluff. Very good lead for us. I want to make sure that I keep this alignment because Jumpluff is pretty nasty into the rest of this team. And once again, opponent, I don't know why people are safe swapping Gastrodon like it's a good safe switch. Like, they're just asking to get grassed on. I'm telling you, man. Like, let me take a moment because this is going to be, you guys have seen this one before, right? So the reason why you don't want to safe switch something like Gastrodon, Bastiodon, Alolan Sandslash is because they have double weaknesses that are very, very easy to exploit, right? You have a double weakness to fighting and fire in the case of Bastiodon and Alolan Sandslash, as well as a fire weakness, double weakness to fire for Alolan Sandslash. Gastrodon gets completely walled by anything with a flying typing, and also it gets destroyed by grass types. I can't fathom a good reason as to why someone would want to use that as their safe switch. Like, genuinely, use Quagsire or something else with a little bit more flexibility, and then try to use that to lure out a grass type. And then maybe close with the Gastrodon is what I would be suggesting in place of just throwing a Gastrodon safe switch. Because if you do, you know, if I were to have a Jumpluff on my team, I would come out of that matchup with 100 energy, and I could just Aerial Ace the opponent's Jumpluff several times. It's just not a good thing to be in the habit of doing. Just in my opinion, okay, you play however you like, but opponent hard swapped into their Jumpluff. We were able to answer with the Dunsparce. The opponent may have been trying to lure that out, but we should now be able to get a nice farm down. I try to catch a Body Slam if they're going to get to one potentially, which ends up costing me because they do actually get to the charge move, and I'm just going to put up a shield because Starmie needs the shields. And they have Bibarel. We've seen how this goes before. They can get to one Hyper Fang at this point and pretty much knock me out. So I actually threw this game all on my own here by going for that attempted catch. If I had just farmed down with Starmie, I would have been fine. Unfortunately, though, the opponent has their Hyper Fang or its return here because they are a purified Bibarel, and they completely destroyed Starmie. Could have won that game, man. I'm so sorry. Good game to the opponent. Hindsight is 20/20, as they say, right? Dunsparce into Bibarel in the next game. Another very, very neutral lead here, but we have the edge in bulk as far as that goes. Dunsparce is going to be able to take a move or two here, whereas the Bibarel kind of has to shield at least one of these two drill runs. So very nice advantage for us here in the early game, and I'm just going to go ahead and get these shield and then go for the drill run, and then look to pivot into Malamar having a shield advantage here. And that way we can hopefully utilize the shield advantage for Starmie at some point later in the game. Again, my opponent not purified this time, so they're going to go for the Hyper Fang. Bibarel is just such a nasty beaver. That thing hits so hard, man. And apparently everybody's running Gastrodon today. I don't know if that's normal, but there was sets where I saw a ton of Gastrodons, and then I saw a ton of people running Diggersby, the Chungus areas. Diggersby, it's just, man, there's just so many. So many of these particular things. They're just like they're asking for flyers and waters. Just asking for it. Anyway, opponent decides it's not worth a shield here. They're going to come in with the Bibarel and get a farm down. And I'm going to come in with my Starmie and look to try to farm down, but I'm not going to be able to make it. And I'm going to no shield, hoping it's not a Hyper Fang. But it is, and that's the problem because there's a Morpeko in the back, and I have to see if I can get the shield with the Surf. The opponent's Morpeko is loaded on energy. Surf gets the shield. Can I get to this drill run in time? I have to call this. If they Aura Wheel, I lose no matter what. But if they go for Psychic Fangs, we get the bait. That's one of those. Let me. I just want to pause the video real quick and explain that. So I lose no matter what if I shield, right? If they Aura Wheel me, I lose anyway. The only way that I could possibly win this game is by calling and getting a correct bait. That's literally just a coin flip. It's just a, you know what? I'm just going to no-shield this and hope they don't double Aura Wheel me, and if they go for the Psychic Fangs, then I can win this game. So that's basically just me gambling on the only potential win condition that I have left. Now I just need to get to the drill run here before the opponent's going to be able to get to this farm down, and almost there, but the opponent needed an extra couple of Thunder Shocks to get that KO, and we're going to be able to drill run for the win here. Good game to the opponent. A lot closer than it really needed to be, but wait! There's a Bibarel! But we Psywave down, it's all good. Good game to the opponent. Rolling into the next game, rollouting into the next game, as they say. Serperior on the lead is a very, very awkward lead. A lot of grass would be awkward for this because you're forced to throw the rock slides, and opponent can freely just go for a Frenzy Plant. I'm going to shield this up because it's probably a Frenzy Plant. Most Serperiors are going to throw the Frenzy first and then go for Aerial Ace Baits later, so I'm going to force them to continue to throw Frenzy Plants while I chip away at them with these rock slides. My aim here is just to get the Serperior low, and hopefully after tanking one Frenzy Plant, I'll be able to simply duck out of this matchup. Now you can see it's a much more manageable position for Starmie if it needs to come in at some point and deal with the Serperior. I'm not shielding anything here after this point. Going into the Malamar, and the opponent's going to throw a move here. It's probably another Frenzy Plant, but I'm just going to let it go at this point. I feel like Starmie hopefully will be able to do some good. And we'll see what they come in with, and it's Drapion, and I am having a bad time. The opponent getting to a move immediately. I don't even get the chance to get to my move here because they go straight for the throat with the Aqua Tail, but now I'm going to try to see if I can't get to double Superpower here. They're about at 3 Poison Stings, and I'm 1 shy of the Superpower, so I should be able to get a second Superpower in here. And my Switch Clock is also coming back up if I want to try to pivot out, which I do. I'm going to go into my Dunsparce here and try to go for the drill run, but the opponent throws their energy. I was only 1 away. I could have... Oh, man, if I had only gotten that off. We're going to come in with Starmie here, but we're pretty much hosed. I mean, there's really nothing I can do against this Drapion, unfortunately. Drapion, like, you core break me in the lead with Serperior, and then in the back they have something that just destroys pretty much my entire backline in Drapion. And they had shield advantage. I really don't think there was any way for me to win this game. So, I mean, well played to the opponent. They had a really good pick. The Drapion and Serperior core kind of makes sense, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it sometime. It does work. It makes sense. Getting into the next game. Nasty lead here. Annihilate, not something I want to see, but we're going to go into the Malamar and try and get them to switch, and the opponent comes in with a Licky Licky, and I know that this is a flippable matchup. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to win. I need to win Switch, and I know I can because Licky Licky and Malamar, this is just a very one-sided matchup for the Malamar because the rollout damage does not add up as much as you might think it would. And the opponent, if they don't throw a big move here, I can just let this go. I mean, truthfully, one of 2 things needs to happen here. Either I need to come away with Switch advantage, which I may be able to do here if the opponent doesn't double shield, or I need to be able to save 2 shields for Starmie and hope the opponent can't win that way. So we're going to come back in with Dunsparce here, and I'm just going to put it all on Starmie. Let them throw whatever energy they want. We're going to get Starmie going, and hopefully we'll be able to win. The opponent had the Hyper Beam, though. Man, imagine taking one of those on the Malamar. That would have been painful. Whew. Props to the opponent for running the spicy moveset here. We're going to let them throw another move. And again, this is me just putting it all on Starmie. Hopefully we have what we need. We're able to take out the Licky Licky at least and keep Dunsparce alive with 1 HP so that just in case the opponent has something in the back that has the ability to debuff us, we should be able to get to a point where we can swap out and clear the debuff. But the opponent's just running Annihilate, double rollout, no debuffs here. So we're going to be able to just go for Surfs, and 2 Surfs is enough to knock out the Dunsparce. The opponent does get to a charge move here, but because they do, that means I can farm up a little bit extra and try and get to that second Surf a little bit sooner against the Annihilate. Just because I can throw the Surf right away doesn't mean I should, only because now if I can get to the Surf against the Annihilate, we can win the game without having to do anything like a catch. It's just over farming when you know you can, so that you don't have to do as much later on in the game. We're going to take out the Annihilate with the Surf on Starmie, and once again, Starmie sweeping endgames because it just can. Well played to the opponents here, picking up another positive set, climbing back into the 2300s. If y'all know, I got just shafted in Master League rotation last couple weeks, so glad to have regular accessible leagues back again. But thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully, if you try to pick up this team, hopefully you enjoy it. It's been a lot of fun for me. Starmie has been one of the most fun Pokemon I've played, aside from like Morpeko and Greninja and things. I just really like the spammy, hard-hitting things, I guess. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me for today's video, guys. Thank you very much. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.